Well, hello everybody, Jason up, New Age Revolution Cave. It's a little bit of the power hour. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to answer some fun questions. Sometimes the power hour is heavy, and sometimes it's soft and light and fluffy. Today we're going to do a soft and light and fluffy power hour. But first, folks, you are all very well familiar with Retro Rays, the big channel over there on the YouTubes. My main man, Retro Rays, has an outstanding collection, is an all-around good fella, and is responsible for me having the Castle Grayskull box of 80s joy. Well, apparently Retro Rays just has random wrestlers on his channel, and no big whoop. But if you head over to Retro Rays YouTube Spectacular, you'll see this guy, relatively unknown, AJ Styles, hanging out at Retro Ray's place as they talk about all of AJ Styles' wrestling figures. Okay. How'd that happen? All right. So go do that now, after this video, of course. Go over to Retro Rays, and he is just hanging out at the crib with AJ Styles. Yeah, the wrestler from the WWE and TNA and I don't know, wherever else he was in his career there. WCW, some late WCW. AJ Styles hanging out with my man Retro Rays. Try to figure that one out. And they're going to go through all of AJ's figures and talk about the specifics of the figures and what AJ thinks of them. And okay. And I also think he's giving away, my man Retro Rays, he's giving away an autographed AJ Styles figure from his collection. So go watch that. Yeah, I should get a wrestler on the channel or something. I don't really know any that I can just invite to my house and have them show up, but get on that. All right, we're going to do the power hour, folks. That's right. Where you are a part of the show. You get to send me questions that you'd like me to answer here on the big show, and get all of your curiosities quenched. Your thirsts for knowledge will be drenched with liquid information. Just made that up. Anything you want to know, throw me a softball, we'll knock it out of the park. Throw me a hard ball and we'll just get into it. We'll just get deep into the pain of life. Anything you want to know, anything you want to ask, send me a question or questions. Multiple ways to do that. You can do it through the Facebooks on Messenger. You can send it on the Instagrams if we're connected over there, and you can do it through the emails. Right? You can sit at your desktop and format a nice email to me at either Jason_Nupp, KNUPP, at yahoo.com, Jason_Nupp at yahoo.com, or JasonNupp76 at gmail.com. And I will read your questions and answer them and say hello to you and shout you out and whatever you want. My pal Ryan sent me some fun questions. He wasn't going to hit below the belt. Nah. He just wanted to know some fun stuff. And since we are celebrating the return of LJNs, I figured I'd answer a cluster of his LJN questions. He says, if you could have any one LJN carded back in your current collection, who would it be and why? So, several years ago, I foolishly sold all of my LJN carded figures. And I don't know how I justified it at the time. I'm sure there was some credit card debt or something that I had to pay off. I don't know, but I sold them all, and I had I don't know, 50 or so carded LJNs. I had Andre black card, and I think I had, what else did I have on black card? I think I had one of the Hogans, one of the white shirt or red shirt Hogan. Did not have any of the other black cards, but I had the Hart Foundation box set. I had Sheik and Volkov. I had Hogan and Hillbilly. I just had a bunch. I sold them. And that was a terrible, terrible experience. eBay was an awful thing to me back then. And a little handful of the figures, whoever the cretin is, got them for free because he opened up a claim, and PayPal froze the money and gave him the money, and I never got the figures back. I think I had Axe black card as well, and maybe Duggan. I think I had Duggan black card. I mean, I had White Tito on card. I had Martel. Yeah, had so many. In fact, I think the only blue cards that I didn't have was Coco. For some reason, I don't think I had Coco Beware. I had both referees on card. Yeah. So that was a bad experience, and I did not get anywhere near what I wanted. I think I clustered them all up in one big batch and asked like $10,000 for them back about I don't know, 7 years ago or so. And then I just pieced them out individually and got crap money for them. So if you could have any one LJN carded back in your collection, who would it be and why? So at this current time, I have Jimmy Snuka, Big John Studd, Iron Sheik, Andre the Giant, and my autographed Hulk Hogan upstairs. And I also have the British Bulldogs tag team set. If I could have anyone back other than the ones I have, probably Elizabeth, because there's such a fun story connected to her of how I got it, and you guys all know the story, most of you do. But I'd probably go with Elizabeth. Yeah. I mean, if I wanted any of them back, it would be for sentimental value. And Elizabeth is really the only one that has like a sentimental story. Beefcake and Valentine and Orndorff kind of have a sentimental story. I got them at a birthday party when we were camping for my birthday one year. So that's kind of fun. But I guess I'd go with Elizabeth just for the story. But you know what? That's not going to happen, because the prices of stuff has become what I like to call stupid. And I won't have. Now, we get to do it again. We get to do it again with the LJN re-release. And I'll tell you what, when those figures come in the mail, or when I stumble upon them at Target, it's going to blow my mind, and you're going to be a part of it. And that's coming, I think, in late October, I think, is the release. I got to double check. But I'm already going to get 2 of every one. And everything that I have coming is coming through the mail, through Target.com right now. But I will buy one at retail just to experience that. And that will just be incredibly surreal. Now, what we probably have failed to realize is that it's the 40th anniversary of LJNs. right? I think we've decided LJNs hit stores in 1985. It's 2025. It's the 40th anniversary of LJNs. I don't know if Mattel took that into consideration, but in the 40th year, we will be buying them at retail once again. And I am beyond thrilled that they are releasing, it's been confirmed that they will release, King Kong Bundy, Ultimate Warrior, whoever else is next. Probably, who could be next? Savage. I don't know how good of terms they are with Savage, but who could be next? Junkyard Dog, Roddy Piper. They're going to release the figures that we had. They're going to re-release them. And I think that that's so great. So great. I honestly, because XOX is so good at what they do, I don't need them to release the Samoans or even Brother Love, Bad News Brown, Bushwhacker. I don't need them. I got them. I don't need Earthquake. I don't need Dino Bravo and Mr. Perfect. I already have them. And I have them just as good as they could ever be made. And that includes by LJN. So I just want my old figures re-released on a slightly different card. It says WWE Superstars on it. But I cannot wait to see King Kong Bundy and Hulk Hogan sitting on store shelves again, and Ultimate Warrior, and it's amazing. Okay, so Elizabeth, there's my answer, Elizabeth. I'm pretty sure she sells for well over $300-400 now, which is, again, just stupid. Number 2, what accessories, if any, did LJN miss out on not packing in with a figure? Example, Bundy with cape and sunglasses. No, I wouldn't want to see Bundy with... That made no sense. For the very early part of his tenure in the WWF, he came to the ring with cape and sunglasses, and I'm pretty sure that he did that in WCCW. He came to WWF from Texas, from World Class. He was in World Class in 83, and he had hair, a very full head of hair. I believe that King Kong Bundy never actually went bald. He had no indication of balding when he was in WCCW. And when he came to WWF, you could tell that he had a full head of hair, and he just shaved it. And as a bald man, I take that very personally. But anyway, no, I wouldn't have wanted to see the cape and sunglasses. I'm staring right at him. Let's look at the figures that exist, and did they miss? Could they have made a Matilda for British Bulldogs? Maybe. Sure. George Steele did not have the Mine doll when they were producing George Steele in 86. Savage with... who got clothing? Elizabeth got a skirt made of cloth. That's the only cloth item. So it wouldn't make sense for Savage to have a robe because they weren't making cloth clothing. Looking. A boa for Adrian Adonis, I suppose. That would have been cool, but it couldn't have been cloth because, again, they're not doing that. So maybe a rubber boa like Jake's snake that would go over Adrian's neck, maybe. Maybe the mask for Kamala. I think that might have been cool. They certainly couldn't pack him with a spear. So that he carried to the ring. So I would go mask for Kamala. Matilda for the Bulldogs, but again, Bulldogs were 86, I think. Maybe 87. When was Matilda? WrestleMania 4 was 88. I don't think Matilda would have made it. Definitely the mask for Kamala. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to go mask for Kamala. And there have been some pretty good customs out there, but I'm going to go big mask for Kamala. In fact, in the Bring Home All the Action commercial, I think he's wearing, Kamala's wearing the mask. If you want to laugh, go look up Mean Gene interview bloopers, and there's some with Kamala that are fantastic. Kamala seemed like the happiest, most lovable guy. So did Nikolai Volkov in these bloopers. Even Big John Studd is just silly. You just get the impression that like these guys were just big goofballs, like big kids. Kamala, I mean, they just giggled and laughed, but Kamala, Kamala's hilarious in some of those bloopers. Look them up. He apparently missed a string of interviews in I don't know, Des Moines or something. He no-showed some interviews, and because it was, you know, Mean Gene knew it was a blooper interview, he started questioning. So Kamala thinks he's having a regular interview, you know, so he's doing the Kamala gimmick, and Mean Gene is like, you know, what the hell is your problem? You missed some interviews. You know, what were you doing laid up in some motel in Ipswich or something like that? And then Kamala finally realizes that, this isn't, this is, you know, we're just shooting bloopers here. And Kamala comes up with the best classic hilarious line of what he was doing in a motel in Ipswich, according to Mean Gene. So good. Anyway, off track. Number 3. If you could change the outfit or paint job for any LJN, who would it be and what would you change it to? I would like to have seen Brutus Beefcake in the yellow and black gear that he wore for a while. I see no reason for the prototype of Ricky Steamboat with red pants. I don't recall ever seeing him wear that, especially at the time that he was being made. You could say British Bulldogs in baby blue tights, but the red is what they were wearing when they were, you know, maroon is what they were wearing when they came in. I really would have loved to have the prototype Iron Sheik with that classic 84 Iron Sheik design on his pants. I would have liked Magnificent Morocco without a shirt, especially one that just says Magnificent Morocco. Yes, he always came to the ring in a shirt during this run, but I would have liked to have seen him shirtless, just because I'm a weirdo. I mean, Blassie is kind of pathetic. The Blassie figure is not great. It's red shirt, red pants, and a yellow Mr. Rogers sweater. That could have been a little glossied up a little bit, a little glammed up. Jesse's okay, I guess. Harley Race without his jacket, maybe. Everybody else is okay and pretty understandable. But yeah, I think the first thing I would have thought of would be a really good beefcake in the yellow and black. In fact, there's a prototype bendy of Brutus Beefcake wearing those colors, and I really like them. All right, then we're going to jump right to 80s experiences. And he says, what is one 80s only experience you regret doing and or not doing? Example, growing a mullet. So I guess, well, it's an 80s only experience. So I would have said playing sports or playing music, but that's not 80s only. 80s only experience I regret doing. I don't think I have any of those. 80s 80s only experience I regret not doing. I don't know, because a lot of the things are still hanging out here today. I mean, like I said, I would have played some kind of organized sport. I would have taken music lessons, maybe even acted in like a school play. Might have even wanted to do the Boy Scouts. I never did that. 80s only experience I regret not doing. That's a tough one. I really can't come up with that, but so we'll just substitute it for the things that I wish I did as a kid. What was your favorite live event you attended in the 80s? I'm assuming that's not just wrestling. Favorite live event I attended? Well, WrestleMania 2 on closed circuit was pretty fun. Obviously, any house show I went to as a kid was great. I went to I didn't do a lot of live events. I mean, we did the standard ice-capades and maybe the circus. The first music concert I went to was just odd. I mean, it was rap. It was a rap show in like 1986, and all I remember, it was at the local like arena. It was at the Rochester War Memorial. The only act I remember being there was Slick Rick. I was not a big rap fan at 10. So I think I know it was the era that my dad had a girlfriend. Her son was about 15, and I think he was into it. So I think my dad might have just dropped him and I and maybe a couple of his friends off at the Rochester War Memorial for a rap concert. And all I remember is Slick Rick. You know, I went to AAA baseball games a lot as a kid with my grandfather. I guess favorite would be probably WrestleMania 2, just because it was WrestleMania 2 and it was closed circuit, but very enjoyable. Like I said, any house show that I went to, and I probably went to like realistically probably 5, maybe 6 house shows as a kid. And you know what? Tickets were probably $12 back then. And again, I think of today, you know, granted they'd be 80 today, but I probably should have seen a few more at $12 a ticket. Mom. I'm going to say WrestleMania 2, closed circuit. Finally, what was your most memorable 80s experience? What moment stands out above all? Boy, oh boy, there's just so many little memorable experiences that just are awesome. Most memorable, boy, oh boy. You know, it's because I'm crunched for time, I'm going to give a nod to the childhood best friend, and I'm going to say that WrestleMania 3 pay-per-view at his dad's friend's lake house in a place called Canisius Lake here was a pretty good, memorable experience. In fact, he and I, when we do chat, it can easily be brought up in conversation, and we can easily talk about it. Going to see WrestleMania 3. First of all, WrestleMania 3 was the most hyped WrestleMania of my childhood because it was Hogan versus Andre. And in 87, I'm 11, and I had no idea that A, Andre the Giant faced Hulk Hogan in the past. B, Hulk Hogan was a bad guy. C, Andre the Giant had been slammed multiple times in his career, probably including by Hogan during those matches. I didn't know any of that. All I knew of Andre the Giant was lovable Hulk Hogan's best friend. So, and we had experienced bad guy, good guy turns before as wrestling fans. We got the Paul Orndorff turn, and we got turns. We understood turns, but Andre turning bad and facing Hogan was mind-blowing for a kid. Pay-per-view is relatively new at the time, and we were going at 11 years old. In fact, I was not quite 11 because that's in April, and my birthday's in May, so I was still 10, hopping in the car with Howie, his dad, and his dad's pal, and driving to another pal of the dad's cottage, lake house in Canisius Lake, getting there several hours early, running around the lake, playing, anticipating the show, and then finally sitting and watching the card and just reacting the whole time, and then still having to drive back home. And that's always fun for a kid. A long drive with your pal is fun. That's just like you're living. You're doing things you've never done before. I'm going to call that one of my best 80s memories. I mean, we've already talked about the Christmas memories. Those are easy to, that could be the answer. But I'm going to say WrestleMania 3 with my pal Howie. And if you're watching, like you should be, I thank you, sir, for being a part of that. That's that. That'd be that, folks. Those are some good questions from my pal Ryan, and that's the Power Hour. Again, if you want to get involved, I told you how earlier, and please, if you're still with us, go check out Retro Ray's. He's interviewing AJ Styles in his house, not AJ's house. I assume that'd be even more strange. But Retro Ray's just has his wrestler pal over, and they're just talking. No big deal. Go check it out. Good night now.